welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Papa Powell going on the microphone. Papa Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo! Oh, I guess you guys, you guys might have heard me cough a little bit over there. Welcome to the stream. Let me bring down the music. How's everyone doing? Had a good weekend. My weekend was good. I had some friends over. We had some barbecue, watched UFC, the Diamond Dustin Poirier retirement. My heart hurt a little bit watching his retirement, but great fight. Max Holloway won. Great fight all around. The amount of decisions in the final card was insane, but the prelims were hot. Got to enjoy some good music with my friends. Got to eat some good food, and the weekend's over, sadly, right? But once the weekend comes to an end, you got an awesome market to play with today. The market moving around. Starting off, the market went up to the north side. You had Google, Tesla. I don't remember if Tesla went up. Nvidia didn't really go up. It was more Apple, Meta, and Google from the large cap that I saw went up today. But there was a small cap. That was the fun for me. The small cap. You lost your comb? I combed it, dude. Leave me alone. TH, fuck off. Where was I? So small cap area where it was more in play, and it was the stocks actually that we were talking about all last week, looking for the first red day setup, and that's basically the theme of the stream today, which is I want to talk about how to trade these first red day setups, because so many came into play today. Well, mainly like 2 came into play. You could say 3 came into play, and you could have made really good coin, really good money off of trading these setups. So looking out for the first red day setup, and then I'm going to highlight some names that potentially will be worth keeping an eye on for that setup tomorrow or sometime during this week. Also looking at stocks for the second red day setup, and the third red day setup, and so on. So looking for all types of fun on the market. If you guys have any names you want me to take a look at, throw it up in the chats, and obviously we'll pull it up after we go talk about my trades on the day. So let's go to the full screen here and talk about my executions that your boy was able to pull off today. I had a pretty decent day. Nice Monday to start off. There we go. I wanted to look at that. Nice Monday to start for me. and looking forward to see how we can add to the portfolio, add to the P&L. This camera seems a little too high today for some reason. Okay, there we go. Added to the P&L for going into the month, and I feel like this month has been one of the hottest summers we've seen so far, with earnings season coming up ahead. We are in the earnings season, so not coming up ahead. With earnings season in the current cycle, we got a lot of fun activity ahead of us, like Google reporting earnings, Tesla reporting earnings sometime this week. Intel, who cares about Intel, but still worth keeping an eye on. Tomorrow we have in the pre-market RTX, Lockheed Martin, and Northman Group. This is your three defense stock names to keep an eye on. You also have Philip Morris, that's for your cigarettes and so on. Dr. Horton, I think that's your shoemaker if I remember correctly. GM, car maker, GM worth keeping an eye on. Some names possibly in the after hours. I don't really like any of these names, or I've never really traded any of these names, to be honest, other than STLD, so I put that on the watch list for the after hour names. Today pre-market, CLF, that was the name I traded today, and honestly traded poorly, but possibly worth keeping an eye on for a day 2 trade, day 2 earnings situation. DPZ in that basket, Verizon in that basket. Some stocks that broke out today, IREN, that pulled back. Let's also quickly head over to that watch list that I just had open. Where is it? Watch list. What kind of stocks do we see here? BBAI. Oh, I was like, what? BBAI is not joining the S&P 500? Okay, good. XYZ. Yes, XYZ is getting added to the S&P 500. BBAI went down a little bit today. I used that to cut some size in my swing account. CLF already in the portfolio, in the watch list for tomorrow. EQT went down quite a bit. Robinhood, Palantir, SMCI, A-Lab, possibly not ANAT, maybe Shopify. We'll put Shopify in there. A couple stocks such as Roblox. Are you in here? Yes, Roblox and Unity already in the watch list. Up 24% amid apparent short covering, as social media mentions were higher than normal. Additionally, the company stated it will report Q2 financial results on Monday, August 4th. So whatever NVTS is, we'll quickly take a look at that. What is NVTS looking like? Maybe BBAI, we can quickly take a look at it. SBET pushed to the lower. That was a good trade today. I didn't really trade that, but since we are talking, okay, I do already have the drone names on the watch list, so I guess I kind of have a decent enough of a watch list already ready over here. Just gonna quickly remember, or try to remember, some other stocks that might be important. RKLB, BULL, LCID sold out, so I cut that for a loss on my swing account. RKLB, what was the other one besides RKLB? IBKR is a good one to keep an eye out for. BULL, IBKR 3M, that one reported last week. I don't think 3M is worth it, but I'll put Charles Schwab, IBKR, Bull, Robinhood is already in there. Anything from here that I quickly want to circle? Toast worth keeping an eye on. App, Coupang, Circle, App. These are my swing stocks that I kind of want to keep an eye on. So let me just quickly take a look at some of these ones. And that's about it. Obviously, Palantir Shop always in my watch list, no matter what time of day, what time of year it is. And really quickly, let's just throw in some cryptocurrency names, because crypto seems to be wanting to pull back also. IBIT, MSTR, Coinbase, and that is going to be the watch list for tomorrow, starting with some earnings names from pre-market, earnings names from after hours, and so on. Okay, so I've created a watch list. If you guys want me to put some stocks in there, let me know. Prad has been struggling a lot to get this channel off. What happened to Trader TV Prad? Hey man, that's a whole different Trader TV channel. This is a whole different channel. It doesn't work the same way, you know. The algos, the streaming in the day compared to streaming at night. The audience don't really watch you at night compared to as many watch you in the morning. You can see it in the count of how many people are actually even on YouTube compared to the morning, compared to the nighttime. It's just a complete different situation. Also, I'm not really struggling taking the channel off. I'm taking my time, I'm relaxing, and you're watching me. So I'm good. If you're here, I'm good. I got your view. That's all that matters. He's working hard at it. Maybe helps him trade, and nice to see his thinking process. Miss him on Trader TV. Fuck Trader TV. I don't miss Trader TV at all. But what I do miss is that friendly environment that we once had. Sadly, that floor is completely eliminated. Sad story, man. Good times, good era. Completely different story now. That floor is dead from what I've been told. Completely dead. Anyways, yeah, working on this channel, not struggling on growing this at all. It's because I'm not working on growing this channel. This is just my documentation channel. I'm posting here to talk about it. You know, if I really want to work on growing this channel, I would be posting shorts every single day since the day I started streaming. Instead, it's something that I've been doing more recently. So it's just a whole different story. I'm not putting in the effort that Trader TV Live does, nor am I trying to be Trader TV Live, nor am I trying to compete with them. Also, you know, Trader TV Live is just an entertainment show. I'm not entertaining you guys over here. This is my documentation. This is me showing you guys how I trade. This is me showing you guys my journey in the trading career. Trader TV Live is entertainment. If you think they're actually trading, good luck to you. I don't know what else to say. The midday show hasn't made a single dollar since they started trading. Okay? They haven't got a paycheck since they started trading. So you tell me if you're actually getting any valuable information watching that. Okay? Alright, let's go to my watch list, or sorry, my trades on the day. Starting with, do we start with the winners or the losers? Let's start with my first trade on the day. Yeah, let's go chronologically with my first trade, second trade, third trade on the day, and then I'll show you how I kept going back and forth through winning, losing, and eventually made this awesome day today come out to play. So starting with QuantumScape. QuantumScape today was a really good trade, man. If you look at how the stock was absolutely ripping to the north side for the last, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. I mean, more than that, actually. You got couple weeks going straight up. The stock hasn't taken out a single previous day's low, and then today we are starting pretty weak on the day, and then starting off below yesterday's or below yesterday's VWAP, and on the pullback we're not able to even stay above $14. So looking at all of these variables, I was very ready to look for the short on QuantumScape today and turn this into a real short. First red day setup, that's what they call this setup. First red day, look for that big red day move right off the open. Oftentimes it's not like this. Oftentimes it's actually a little bit different, where the stock trades a little bit in this area, rejects a lot more from yesterday's VWAP and from yesterday's low. So you'll see the stock play out between yesterday's low and yesterday's VWAP a lot more, and then eventually break down to the south side, which would have been probably not as explosive to the downside as it was today. But boy oh boy, you got to be ready to take advantage of things like that, because if you were only looking for this setup, you would have missed out on this opening drive, pre-market low breakdown, yesterday's low breakdown, and this complete annihilation of the stock today. So QuantumScape, keeping that in mind, I was ready for the short, starting with some size over here as the stock takes out. Actually, let me show you how it plays out on the 10-second chart. QuantumScape over here on the 10-second chart shows you, ooh, look, I already have it mapped out. 1380, you see how the stock opens, tries to go to 1380, bounces off of 1380, gets back above 14, struggles to stay above 14 for the next few candles, gets back above 14, immediately slam back down, boom. 1380, I start taking the short over there. Then in this area, after the stock pushes back into yesterday's low, if you zoom out a little bit, you'll see how yesterday's low kind of matches right into that zone as we stall a little bit around yesterday's low and we break yesterday's low, turn it into a real trade, add more size, and the stock just keeps on plummeting to the south side, taking advantage of that big flush, taking profits where where the stock has showing you that it's stalling out a little bit. Clean $1.50 move already, so capturing quick profits on the way down and then trying to see if I can hold it for a bigger move. Sadly, that bigger move doesn't really happen right off the bat, which is, it makes sense. How big of a move can you really expect? The stock's ATR, it's already done multiple ATR move, and it's just ridiculous to maybe expect more than that. On the pop, I'm pretty patient here, honestly, and I'm trying to see how the stock reacts on the pop into these range lows. On the range low here, you can see how there's some sellers coming back in this area. So on the pops, I'm looking to get short, and then on the backside, I try to add on the short over here on the backside. But then on this bounce over here, I should have been able to cut the short, maybe even. I'm not as upset as holding the stock to all the way up here till $13 to see if 13 would reject. But this trade could have been done better. Gave back some profits over here. Later on, the stock does pull back below VWAP. There was a short in this area somewhere if you were looking for it. There's a trend line break that happens right in this area around 1330, 1318. I was looking for the trend line to break here, which would have made me add to the trade a lot more, and then I was looking for that big move down. It didn't play out that way. Eventually, trend line breaks over here, so you could have taken that trend line breakdown and then enjoyed the ride to VWAP. When the stock did move to VWAP, there were basically two permutations that were gonna play out. Either we trade sideways at VWAP all day, or we start looking a little bit weak around VWAP and then start going back into low a day, break low a day for a bigger move down. So those were the two permutations I had in mind. Sadly, the permutation that was playing out is that we're just gonna go sideways for the rest of the day. So that was QS. Awesome trade to start off the day for me, and capitalizing on that. My next big winner, or my first big winner on the day, RCAT. This is a second red day short. So RCAT, if you look at this one on the daily chart, RCAT 1 day. If you look at this bad boy on the daily chart, is my internet lagging today? Jesus. Trading View, come on. If you look at this one here on Friday, that was the first red day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green days in a row where the stock is not able to get below the previous day's low. Awesome. Friday, it does get below previous day low and sells off right into a significant level. Awesome. Okay, not bad. Ideally, if you are bullish, you want to see the stock holding around this area and then getting ready to push back up. But that is not how the stock was playing out. It pushes into that 1122 today off the open, sells off, and then looks like somewhere around here you have the opening range breakdown. I'm not looking at that stock at the moment. Instead, I was looking at JOBY. However, I pulled up RCAT looking at JOBY move, and I'm looking at that stock. I was like, wait a minute. This looks really good for a short if we take out the low a day. Because not only are we below Friday's low now, we are also below that key $11 area. And you can see sellers piling in below 11 now and coming into play. If we do take out this range low, I don't have to risk much. I'm risking like what, 10 15 cents on this trade, and I can possibly get a bigger 2 ATR 3 ATR move out of this trade. All right, let's take a look at that. So taking a breakdown on that, big volume coming in on the breakdown and then turning into a real trade after every single pop gets failed. So starter size pops into the range high. I don't get stopped out. My stop is just slightly above the range high. I don't get stopped out. Pushes back into day's low. Breaks the day's low. Notice how I don't get short immediately when it breaks. I wait to see how the action plays out as it breaks the day's low and see if buyers come back in. It could have been a failed low break and then we pop right back up. Instead, after breaking the low breaks again. So I basically take the second low break the stock consolidates a little bit to the sideways, showing you that, yeah, some sort of buyers are trying to come in, maybe short sellers are taking profit, but then sellers are still moving to the downside. So taking that low again for another ad idea, and turning this trade into a A+ size now, and riding it to the downside for trade number 1. Trade number 2 is a bouncy ball setup. So this is a shout out to your boy Lance. Bouncy ball comes in, the stock comes here, boop, 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 3 bounces, and then eventually breaks the low a day, giving you that continuation on that break of like 970 or so, giving you a move into 930. You're not risking more than, again, 10 cents over here, and you're getting way more than 10 cents on that trade. So RCAT, QuantumScape, 2 best trades on the day for me. JOBY, eventually I do manage to catch the JOBY short, but I guess where I should have been catching the short was actually here. How would you have caught the short? I guess you could have caught it on the failed breakdown of the high a day, breakout of the high a day. So this right here is the opening range breakout. You can see how the stock holds around the opening range and then goes for the second leg. The second leg pulls back, and the stock is now trying to hold around the second leg start, basically giving you some sort of a head and shoulders over here. You got the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, the neckline basically cracking. There's also a backside scalp in this area. There's also probably a rubber band scalp in this area, but I don't think the stock has moved 3 ATR to have a rubber band scalp. So some sort of a backside scalp maybe in this area. You take the breakdown over here, risk this little high area overall, looking for that continuation. But since I was already in RCAT at that moment, I said, screw this. I don't really care about looking for the trade. I'll wait for RCAT to push into low a day and see if I could take the low a day breakdown. Joby to push into low a day and then take the low a day breakdown. Sadly, that doesn't have much follow through. One thing I do good is I don't really size this trade. It's in the middle of the day. It's lunchtime, low volume. Don't expect much follow through ever, and you're always fighting against robots and absolute bots in general. So not worth taking usually these type of breakouts. There is a little bit of a volume spike on that low a day break, but no follow through, and I just immediately take my loss and move on from it. However, I do notice that the stock basically pushes right back into this seller high, and it's not able to get back above it. Basically showing you this is the reason why horizontal levels are way more important than diagonal levels, okay? Horizontal levels show you exactly where the seller or the buyer is, which is way more important. The buyer is never putting an order on a diagonal level, it's a horizontal level, and the bigger the order is, the more times the order is tested, the horizontal level is created. That's how sometimes the diagonal levels are created too, because people are using algorithms to trade based off of moving averages and so on, and that's why you get those diagonal lines. You saw me talk about the QuantumScape diagonal line breakdown just not minutes ago. But overall, horizontal levels are way more valuable, and you can see how this horizontal level just not allowing the stock to get above here, slightly below VWAP. Eventually, the buyer in this area gets cracked down, so starting using that as a reason to get short. I've seen many times where after the stock does this little breakdown, it pops right back up and then just keeps going higher. So that's why starter trade, and then once we take out this low and continue to look weak in this area is when you want to turn it into a real trade. So turning this into a B trade after only having like a C or a D risk, somewhere in this area possibly was a really good area to turn it into A level risk. And then this ad would have been a bonus ad. Whatever you do over here just would have been bonus, because most of your size would have been at 1730s. However, one thing I do stupid is the size I have in this area, I add the exact same size on the low a day breakdown. This breakdown entry, I will say, was horrible. The better entry was right here when the stock pops, and then you can see me getting back short. So these were the better entries. This is not really a setup, because this could have easily snapped back all the way to 1750 and the stock could have rejected from 1750 and gone down. Had I not been able to stomach that move up to 1750, that would have been a bad stop, bad exit by taking a loss in this area. So these shorts are not worth it at all. That's why you can see how I get a little fidgety and I start taking profits quickly in this area, trying to protect myself and taking profits from these shares down here, and then basically holding on to these shares for a stop just slightly above this area. I get lucky. I'm basically gonna, I'm gonna be honest about that. I get lucky over here as this area doesn't break. We push back. I mean, basically the lower day doesn't break and the stock basically tests it and fails. This is now the second chance scalp entry, giving you a beautiful opportunity to really load on the size because that's your stop. And you can see me try to ride that into Friday's low, but sadly no Friday's move during market hours. However, I think Jobby did push down all the way into my target area after hours. So that sucks. Sucks to be me because I can't hold shares after hours, but it did do exactly what I wanted it to, which is, really a boost, a confidence booster. Because not only did I nail RCAT on Friday, I nailed QuantumScape today, and I did a decent job at JOBY. Could have done a way better job on JOBY also. So, first red days we're starting to sharpen our tools here. First red day setups, we're getting better and better at it. Not too long ago, I fumbled the circle first red day setup. So ever since then, I've been studying the setup like an absolute madman. And you never want to fumble these. Look at that awesome short opportunity on circle day 1, circle day 2. And that's the idea behind RCAT today. So RCAT day 1 was Friday, RCAT day 2 today. Look at that big short move. And I basically was able to capture 80% of that move today. Like 80% of that move I captured today. So that's pretty damn good if you ask me. JOBY, we only captured maybe 30% of the move, but we've yet to take down, get below previous day's low on JOBY. Imagine that starts to take place. Joby actually pushed to 16 bucks after hours, so possibly a pop to the north side for us to get short and then get that continuation move tomorrow. Something to talk about in our watch list. So good short over there for me. BMNR. Notice that the S&P Capital Trader Shark has BMNR short today. I quickly pulled up BMNR on the daily chart. Notice that the stock really looks good on the daily chart for a short. If it broke down below 40 and then got below 38, which it didn't do today. So it got below 40, but it didn't really get below 38. So the trade's still in play in watch. But overall, I got a quick little scalp out of it, so I'm not gonna be too upset. It broke today's low right here, somewhere in this area. You can see how the opening range low breakout was right around $42 or so. After breaking today's low and the opening range low, we start creating a little flag, a little hitchhiker scalp in this area. So I figured, okay, if we create a hitchhiker scalp, let me take a starter size, risk this high, and see what happens. The stock flushes, pops back, struggles to even get back above my entry price, and starts to look weak again. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute, there could be something here. Add to the short on the way lower, and see if we can get a big move. Sadly, that gets stuffed right back down, because like 38's the big level, right? 38's the major level. If it breaks below 38 and looks weak below 38, that's going to be the trade for us to really get excited for. So BMNR didn't do exactly what I was looking for here. One thing I did do really horribly is not take enough profits on that flush. I mean, I'm $2, $1.50 in the money over here. Should have taken more profits, quicker profits. Held way too much size all the way back, so this winner was way too small, and then this was basically a scratch trade. Nothing doesn't matter over there overall. Roblox, This stock is a high priority for that first red day setup. I mean, come on, Roblox, are we kidding? The stock is going insane. It was 50 bucks not too long ago, and now it's at 120, 130. Absolute monster. A little parabolic at the moment. Slow move up. So the first red day setup never really set up on the stock, but this extension really gets us excited, because if we get below the last 2 days low, which is today and Friday, things might get a little exciting. Okay, so Roblox worth watching for. However, since the stock had a monster reversal off the open and created some sort of a little hitchhiker scalp, took very small size, quickly took my $1 per share scalp over there, tried to see if there was a bigger move, but I got stopped out for break even, walked away from the stock. There was potentially a short here that you could have taken, which is the fashionably late scalp. Wait for the 9 EMA to cross. I bet you 9 EMA crosses right when this range low breaks or somewhere in this area. You could have gotten short if you wanted to, or you can see how 127, which was the where my entry was, the original day high before the move to 128. The stock really struggled around that 127, so you could have possibly picked up some short there if you were looking for it. But I said screw it. If Roblox is gonna do this type of a move, why not try to see if there was some sort of a crazy squeeze on this to partake in and make some quick scalp, quick money. And I tried to. Yeah, I made some money, but it's a scratch trade overall. Same thing with ALAB, an insanely strong stock. We were talking about the stock when it was at 95. I went long at 97, and then I got stopped at 95. So I was very, very annoyed at the stock, and I was slowly watching the stock go up. All of a sudden today it gaps up 20%, and it's ridiculously strong. All other stocks I was watching were you know, gapping up and giving back their day, like IREN and BBAI and so on. But ALAB just ridiculously strong. There were so many opportunities to go long off of VWAP, but I wasn't really watching them, to be honest, because I was more busy with the QS and RCAT. So missing out some money over here, some very, very free money, honestly. But I figured, hey, if RCAT does this, which is a consolidation right before the high of day, let me just take the high of day breakout. It gave you a very similar move like Roblox, a quick $1 per share, but I wasn't quick enough to take any profit, so I just said, fuck it. I'm going to take my break-even exit and walk away, because I wasn't looking for the stock to do something crazy anyways. And after that failed breakout over here, I didn't expect a bigger move. If there was a bigger move, it should have gone in this area, and it just wasn't going. So I figured, you know what, let me just take my flat exit, walk away, and that saved me money. My biggest regret on the day, CLF. CLF, I prepared for this last night. I don't stream on Sundays anymore, sadly. But CLF, I prepared for this last night. If you look at the stock on the daily chart, the $10 area is very, very important. So $10 area is a 200-day moving average, and just below the 200-day moving average, we create a little bit of a flag. So getting above the 200-day, getting above the 10, and staying bullish above the 10 was the indication to get long. Now, that is possible that I traded, not possible. It's 100% fact that I traded the stock way too aggressively and way too momentum based. This should have been a more swing style, exactly what I did with my QS and my RCAT. Maybe not QS, but my RCAT and my Joby later on in the day. Instead of taking a momentum style trade, I should have taken it in a way more a swing style trade, an intraday swing setup, and look for that trade. I guess you could say me making money on QuantumScape right off the open really got me excited, and I thought CLF should have gone right away too. Actually, that's exactly what happened, and I should probably log that into my notebook. Noticing that QuantumScape was making me so much money right off the open, I wanted another trade to do the very similar thing for me, and the fact that CLF was not doing that, I took a quick little exit off that trade, got back in, added to it. Stock never got below 10. Why am I exiting the position? Okay, stock never got below 10. It broke high a day, a beautiful opening range breakout, and then let's look at the move, a 2 ATR move up to $11. What more do you want from it? And then a decent VWAP hold too. So a little frustrated. No reason to be red on this name at all, and in fact, a 100% reason to to absolutely smash this trade today because the setup was just there. Everything I did today was not a setup, but there was a setup here that I could have taken advantage of, and I'm 100% realizing that the fact that I made money off of QuantumScape so quickly today, I wanted another stock to do that, and I forced the setup over here on CLF. So it's good to recognize these things when you're trading, and next time maybe you can catch that trigger before it happens, right? You recognize, oh, I'm really doing good on this trade. Let me try to control my emotions a little bit. Let me try to focus up and see if the next trade I'm getting into is actually a setup. Is it even worth taking the entry and so on? Google was looking for a short on the failed 190 break on the original push-up, but then afterwards the stock just did a lot of sideways, and even over here as we do get below 188.50, go into 188 and then reclaim VWAP, I figured there's just no more shorts on Google no matter how weak the stock market was. And maybe I shouldn't say that because the market really got weak, then maybe Google would have possibly cracked down. But given how market was pushing a little bit lower somewhere around this period of the day, and Google just did not want to go into that direction, I figured that this was on its own mission. It was on a secular mission to do whatever the hell it wanted to. So if 190 broke, possibly some quick lunch money scalps to take profits on, no follow through at all. Each little break just stalled. I guess that makes sense because the market wasn't really bullish anymore. Market was selling back and retreating for the rest of the day. So forced Google here maybe, but for the fact of how much money that I lost on this trade, and even CLF, the money that I lost on CLF, in fact any of the money that I lost today is so insignificant compared to my shutdown, and so insignificant compared to how much money I made on QS or RCAT. So all of these trades were basically break even / flat for me on the day. Last but not least, Open Door. Boy oh boy, can I learn to go long sometimes. What a miss. This stock taking out the pre-market high. First you had the failed opening range low breakdown, then an opening range high breakout, then you had the pre-market high breakout, then you have the second chance scalp somewhere in this area, and this just the insane run up all the way up to $5. Well, actually, first off, insane run up to 450, 430-ish, and then the stock gives you some sort of a scare if you're a long holder, right? So I get an opportunity to get short on the break back through 4. There was a buyer at 380, so I take the size breakdown at 380, and then the stock only pushes up to like 350 or so. Decent short scalp, a nice short scalp to start off the day. Later on, you get some sort of a double top in this area, so using that to turn this into a second opportunity to short the stock. That gets stopped out, possibly somewhere here to go long. You can see how what the stock did here is exactly what the stock did over here, just on a little bit of a longer time frame and a wider range. So it goes higher, pulls back, trades sideways, and then breaks out and runs. Goes higher, pulls back, trades sideways, breaks out, and then keeps going higher. So you get the idea. So somewhere in this area, possibly worth looking to flip long. I don't miss out on a beautiful opportunity over here. Even hold right into high a day and then the high a day breakout, which I actually take. That gives you a good 50 cents per share scalp on that trade. But what I miss out is the stock offering. Wasn't watching the stock. Didn't have my news channels on play today, which is like Benzinga Squawk, right? Usually I listen to Benzinga Squawk. I didn't have Benzinga Squawk playing today, so missed the stock offering on open. And boy oh boy, what a trash trader I am, because that was the creme de la creme today. That was the crown jewel of all trades today. Catching the long and catching the short. Sad, sad, sad. However, I did manage to catch a little bit of a short here after it opens from the halt. But the way I trade this is so atrocious, and I'm so angry at myself for trading this the way I did. So I'm not even gonna, maybe I will talk about it. So taking front side ads is okay, because these size are like irrelevant. The size is a joke. But what's not okay is not turning it into a real trade on the backside. What's also not okay is after the stock clearly failed to try and get back above 4, why are you chickening out of some position for break even? Why? It's not even break even. You're actually taking a loss. Okay? So why are you chickening out of a position for break even? What is this entry? That entry is ridiculous. That's an atrocious entry. And then taking that entry scares me out of my position where I just punch out on the reclaim of $3 for the overall trade. So just atrocious trading over here. I'm just glad I made money on that trade over here because that paid for this loss. And then this winner also paid for a little bit of this loss. And then this winner paid for this loss too. So overall flat trade on open and my biggest loser on the day. Pretty good day for me. Can't complain about my day. Could have been better, 100%. I could have sized the crap out of RCAT, but I didn't. I should have sized the crap out of RCAT, but I didn't. I could have sized a lot more on QS also, but I didn't. So sizing is still an issue, but you know, no matter what, good day. Possibly a B level risk was given over here, and then possibly another B, and then a C level risk given over here. Those were both, in my opinion, at the very least, A-level trades. So something to keep an eye on. Little Joe Rogan, who follows me, okay, liked my post. Thank you, Little Joe Rogan. Hopefully you're watching the stream. Okay, let's talk about the watch list for tomorrow. Since we only have 20 minutes left over here, I'm going to quickly only talk about maybe the more important names, like RTX. RTX reports tomorrow. This stock has been a little bit on the trajectory to the upside because of the whole Israel, Ukraine, even the news catalyst that Trump is going to give Ukraine weapons and so on. So RTX broke out on that news catalyst, and tomorrow we have the earnings report. So worth watching, seeing if the stock will break out from there or will it pull back on this earnings report. If it starts to look weak below the 9 and the 21-day moving average after the earnings, possibly at least the move down to this 50-day moving average, which is around 140. So multiple ideas already brewing in my head just from looking at the chart at the moment, but we'll see how it sets up tomorrow off the earnings report. You know, prediction is not the name of the game. It's the reaction and execution is the name of the game. So we gotta wait to see what the drop is, and the drop is tomorrow. STLD today after hours. Hopefully it moved. Let's quickly go to the 5-minute chart here, see if it moved at all. It dropped and then popped right back, so I wouldn't, and on very light volume too, so not really anything significant. But if the stock does look weak tomorrow, somewhere below 124.50, possibly worth keeping an eye on. Coca-Cola said they're gonna put cane sugar back into the drink and move on from maple sugar, or corn sugar is what they used, right? Is it maple sugar or corn sugar? I think it's corn sugar is what they use in America and Canada, which is why the Coca-Cola tastes horrible compared to Mexico or in India and so on. So Coca-Cola, we'll see. You know, that catalyst is still gonna take some time, but it's a good catalyst, and we'll see if their earnings report's gonna help them out in some way before that catalyst even plays out. So currently above the 200-day moving average, and let's see if it gets below the 200-day on the earnings report, or if it starts to break out above into these range highs. So Coca-Cola worth keeping an eye on. Philip Morris, I haven't traded this name in a long time, but that looks like a pretty good range, and apparently I have an alert here. So let me just move that alert to the north side for Philip Morris. Possibly even worth putting an alert somewhere down here. If the stock starts to trade below 174 tomorrow after earnings, you know, that makes me excited. If it stock's trading above 186.70, 187, that also gets me excited. Let's see if that's the all-time high, and that looks like it is the all-time high. Philip Morris, baby. Cigarettes, alcohol and cigarettes never go bankrupt, okay? Worth watching. GM. Ooh, not bad of a chart, so worth watching for the earnings report. Possible move on the upside if the stock is holding above 54, and if we are reporting negatively, then possibly not holding above 54 and then just breaking to the downside. But if it's somewhere into the 200-day, like 50 bucks, 49 bucks or 50 bucks, 50 bucks, I'm possibly not as interested to short it. I want to see the stock pop and see how it reacts. Again, pre-market name. You want to wait for pre-market to see how the stock reacts. Philip Morris, do I want to put my levels right now? I'll just put my levels out off stream. Screw it. QuantumScape. So day 2. This is a very important name tomorrow. Day 2 short setup. I'm not saying it will play out exactly like RCAT and how Circle set up, but it is very much possible. I think day 1 for Circle wasn't as extended as this one might be, and for RCAT too, right? So maybe this one doesn't set up as RCAT and Circle, but I'm fingers crossed. I'm seeing how it will play out. QuantumScape was also a episodic pivot, so the fact that it pulled back into the 9-day moving average and is trying to bounce off the 9-day moving average area is even also kind of like a bullish thing overall. So okay, what I'm trying to say is I'm watching it without a doubt, right? I'm watching it for the second red day setup without a doubt. We'll be looking for today's VWAP to come into play. So today's VWAP is around, on the 5-minute chart, it's around 1266. So 1250 to 1266 area. I'll be watching to see how the stock plays out on the pop. If we're not able to reclaim this area, even the pop all the way up to, what is it, 1350. You can see how it struggled up into this pop into 1350. If it rejects over there, then I'm watching how it reacts on the move back down for a bigger short opportunity. We got JOBY for that day 2 over here. Now this stock, it didn't break the previous day low like all of the other stocks did for the first red day setup, right? First red day setup broke the previous day low. QuantumScape today, first red day setup broke the previous day low. Circle, first red day setup broke the previous day low. So Joby is kind of like the outlier at the moment, where the first red day hasn't broken the previous day low, but I feel like if it, well, it already did break the previous day low in the after hours, so I guess that makes it special over there. I would love for the stock to pop up, but hey, you might just have to wait for the stock to you might have to trade the stock below 16 tomorrow in pre-market. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that we have to play with, but for sure in play for a day 2 trade. And these both are high priority names. RTX a high priority name, GM a high priority name, Philip Morris a high priority name. These 3 are not really that high priority for me, but they're on the watch list anyways. So Joby, look for a pop. I don't think we see a pop all the way into today's VWAP, but actually notice this. This is pretty interesting. Today's VWAP is also Friday's VWAP. That's very interesting. So possibly we do get a pop into this area. The stock struggles over here, and then we push back into somewhere here to the downside. But if we start looking weak below 16 tomorrow, I think this is going to give you a good opportunity to play with. So keep some levels on the watch. 16 is the after hour low. Today's VWAP is around 1750. That's going to be my key level, all the way up to 1770, which is yesterday's VWAP. So keep an eye up to that area. And then today's resistance, I guess you could just put this area as a resistance too. But anyways, moving on from that. RCAT, you already gave me 2 great days of shorts. I can't really expect another big day tomorrow. And in fact, if JOBY bounces tomorrow, maybe RCAT bounces, because look at this very important major level on the stock. So that 950 area, 940 area, if the stock starts to look weak below that tomorrow, then it's like, okay, what the hell? Everyone who bought in this run up is absolutely scared and possibly already losing and covered for a loss. If you bought it over here, if you bought it over here, if you bought it over here, you're pretty upset at the moment, right? So you might start looking for more exits if you haven't already on this name if you bought it on these few days. So worth watching how the stock trades around this 950. I think that's the key level. If we're holding above 950 tomorrow, there could actually be a decent long for us to partake in. But I want to see like the other drone names partaking in the same thesis. They are also going back higher and they're not struggling. So that would be ACHR, Joby. Oh baby, look at ACHR first red day setup. I don't even look at the stock today. Look at that. Boom, breaking that day's low and just flush into the downside. Oh man, was this easier than JOBY? I'm gonna cry. That would have given you a 7% move. And how much did this give me? A 3% move. ACHR. So that hurts. So watch that one for a day 2 also. RCAT, more of a possible bounce if it does get back above 950, but still worth watching. What is ACHR says VWAP? Look at that, pretty interesting. Today's VWAP is not Friday's VWAP. It's much lower than that, and actually matches up with a key level that I have drawn out around 1250. Where does that come from? That high. It usually ends up lining up like that. Okay, so possible pop into 1250, a reject around 1250, and where all systems go on ACHR for a day 2 short opportunity, second red day short. Keep an eye out for that. All right, now coming back to the first red day setup over here, you got Unity and Roblox. Today was technically the first red day, so possibly, you know, keeping an eye for as a second red day tomorrow. The stock would basically need to get under today and Friday's low, which is $35.25 to $35 area. If we get below this, I think it's all systems go for the short side. At least a move down to $32 is expected on Unity tomorrow, so keeping an eye out for that one. Next one is Roblox. This stock is bonkers, insane. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's a breeding ground for pedophiles, but the stock price and Kathy Wood just keeps on buying more shares, I guess. I just don't get it. But hey, why do I care? As long as there's a trading opportunity, let's just get happy for it. And I guess the stock is getting ready for that, right? So nice breakout, going parabolic. Let's see if we can get below today's low or Friday's low and have some move to the downside for us to participate in. So 121.35, 121 is the key level to keep an eye out for on Roblox. A-Lab. Monster move today. I need some water, chat. My throat's drying up. Been talking for an hour non-stop. Also haven't had time to go through the chat today because, you know, it took a lot of time explaining my trades and also going through the watch list. Hey, Brad, rich man, you still holding your A-Lab? Fuck no. Not sure if you covered already, but I'm just tuning in. I did not, but I will cover Apple and Google. Yes, I will cover Apple and Google. It's a good time. Appreciate what you do. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Well, Michael Noss on Mondays is informative. Yes, Michael Noss is a legend. You know, can't hate Michael Noss, but he's not Trader TV Live. He's a guest show. Michael Noss is completely different. Traders work and then evolve like an apprentice house painter, become a pro painter at the house. P.S. Obi's birthday last Friday. Yes, I did wish him. It's come out. He's 25. Yo, Obi's a year older than me, okay? He's not 25. If he's telling you that, Obi's bullshitting you. He's not 25. JB, after this morning update, I'm wondering what or who is in his basement. What are you talking about? A quick peek of open chart. Yes, we'll show you the open chart very soon. It's on watch for tomorrow. I think 25 was a joke. Yes, it is a joke. I get the feeling he got in BTC early. Me? I don't think so. Not me. I've been doing this while, but down 1.5 today. Every day I think about getting out. You're talking about market? Hey man, you can never get out of the market. I love the market. Sadly, you choose to stop Sunday updates. Yes, I did. And that's why it's sad. These charts make me nervous, says Free Advice Guy. Look, man, you gotta learn to take some nervous decisions in your life, or you're just gonna be never evolving. You're just gonna be that pizza eating, sitting in your computer chair. I'm not talking about you here, Free Advice Guy, but I'm just saying in general. That pizza eating, sitting in your computer chair, beating. You know, beating what? and no risk taking type of dude, because at the end of the day, no risk, no Rari, boys. And if you want to drive a Rari, you're on the right stream. However, I do need to say, not financial advice before YouTube calls me as a scammer. I'm not giving it financial advice over here. I'm just telling you what I'm looking to do on the market. Continuing to the watch list over here. A-Lab, why is it twice in my watch list? Let's get rid of it over there. A-Lab had a monster breakout today. A lot of stocks actually, a couple stocks had a pretty good breakout, but you can see how they really pulled back. IREN being one of them. NBIS market, look at this garbage name, dude. Breaking out today and then pulling right back. What are we watching here, dude? Come on. Stock went to 58 bucks today and pulls right back to 51 to the 9-day moving average. Like, nonsense. Anyways, worth keeping an eye on. NBIS, NVTS, ALAB, all these names. ALAB actually one of the only names that broke out and held pretty well. So watching this stock at today's VWAP, which surprisingly is 119. I'll just say 119 to 120, possibly worth keeping an eye on for possible support. If the market is strong tomorrow and green tomorrow, I think A-Lab is a high priority name for the long side without a doubt, for the day trade at the very least. CLF, positive earnings report, ripped it to the north side. 10 was the key level and basically held above 10 all day. Wherever today's VWAP is, it's kind of lagging for me at the moment. Come on, load up. Oh, giving you a nice 11 breakout opportunity. So 1050, 11. Those are the levels worth watching for on CLF over here for possible day 2 trades. DPZ, not worth for me, keeping it on the watch. There's way better trades, way better liquidity names out there. Another name that broke out and then completely got destroyed. Domino's Pizza possibly trading less than 1 million shares tomorrow, so I'm not really interested to trade this one. I just put it on the watch list just to leave it in there. Verizon, another name I don't really care too much about. IREN broke out today but completely got slammed back down. I don't think there's a trade there for me to get excited about. XYZ, this is a name worth watching. It's getting added to the S&P 500 index and had a nice breakout on the daily chart. So worth watching XYZ over here. Come on, chart. Stop being so slow, trading view. There you go. Worth watching. If you guys remember the recent stocks that got added to the S&P 500 index news and how they moved, Trade Desk, for example, was it? No, not Coinbase. It was Trade Desk and a couple other stocks that recently announced and they moved around. Go study them and you'll kind of get the idea over there. Really quickly moving down the watch just to see what other chart setup. That is a beautiful setup right there. Boy, oh boy. Let's see that one coming into play tomorrow. Let me set an alert there. 53.40. So if that breaks, I think we're easily moving down to the 50-day moving average, which is around $49. So looking for a breakdown below 53.50, 53.40 on EQT. We have so many purple names here. I could basically stop making my watch list and be ready for tomorrow as it is. Robinhood. Didn't really look at it today. No clue what it's doing. Again, god damn it, internet. That chart's being slow. Okay, gotcha. Robinhood. Oh, nice little pullback on Robinhood. Thankfully, I covered some shares on Friday, so I don't have much shares left on this name. Let's see if it bounces off the 9-day moving average. It's not really in that crazy extended category. You know, it's not even up for ATR in 5-day period. So it's not really in that extended category. Not worth watching. You can see how RCAT is now pushing to the downside where it could actually have that reversal bounce. It's now moving multiple ATR. It was up 7 ATR in 4 days. Now it's about to be 3, 4, 5 ATR down in 4 or 5 days. So reason why I was talking about the reversal over there. Jobby, look at that. Reason why I was looking for the breakdown on this is still up 3, 4 ATR in a 5-day period. So this indicator is a good one to keep an eye out for what stocks are extended or not. Palantir is next on the watch list. I don't know what Palantir is doing at the moment. Ooh, nice 3-day range. the highs for the last 3 days and the lows for the last 3 days are the exact same. And I think if Palantir gets below 151, 150, possibly some downside room for us to look for on this name, but the priority is not really that high for me. But I'll keep an eye for this 151 to 150 area on Palantir. Why not? Put it up on a orange scale. SMCI. Oh, looks like this one could break below the 9-day moving average, at which point my swing account will be very sad. But hopefully holding above the 9 and then getting ready to break back up to the north side. Shopify, how are you doing? Shopify wants to break 130 here. Okay. Gotta watch Shopify tomorrow, I guess, for the day trade. Shopify most likely looking to get above 129.50 here tomorrow or in the next few days. So yeah, keep an alert over there for that bad boy. NVTS moved up but then slammed back down. I don't really see anything too important at the moment on that one. We already looked at NBIS. RKLB, are you giving us a first red day opportunity? So four ATR or more in the last 5 days, and a little bit similar to Jobby, but you did get below yesterday's low, and this sector has gone a little wild too. So I kind of like RKLB here for the first red day too. So 46.85 today's low. How do we do in the after hour over here? Not much more to the downside after that. Not bad. So RKLB is worth watching. Today's VWAP 49. Today's low 46.85. And those are the levels that I'm going to be watching for first red day setup. Schwab volume dying down, earnings name trading sideways, but this is basically a stock trying to hold around all-time high. If the stock gets above 97.50, maybe worth keeping an eye on for a day trade. Volume still above the 30-day average, so it's not the worst name to keep an eye on, but it's the I don't get as excited for the stock is what I'm trying to say. It's just not the highest priority name tomorrow. Circle pulling back a little bit, but this is where the anchored VWAP setup actually comes into play. So now if the stock holds above this 215 area, this is where you would look to get long and ride that momentum to the upside. But on the flip side, as a lot of these stocks are playing out, these why is circle here? No. As a lot of these stocks are currently playing out, you're actually getting, pullback on the sector. Bitcoin, Coinbase, MSTR, and so on. They're all looking to give back some of these gains and take some profits and so on. So if that's the case, I think Circle, you want to be a little careful looking for the long just yet. If you're looking for the short, I think, I'm also not as interested. This is not really too extended either. Volume most likely dying back down again. The sad part is the spread sucks on this name. So not really as exciting for me on that side. APP. Not bad, trying to hold up above 360. That's pretty good for the swing account. I don't have it yet, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Coupang, this is doing decent for the swing account too. It's holding, it's not pulling back, and as long as the Chinese sector does well, I think Coupang has a chance to do well too. And we already talked about the cryptocurrency stocks really quickly. They look like they want to pull back, and that's basically the watch list for tomorrow. Mainly, most of the watch list, ladies and gentlemen, comes from the first red day or the second red day setups, and then you have some earnings names sprinkled in there. Hopefully you found some setups and some ideas that you could make yours. That's basically what you have to do over here for trading. If you ever what's it called? If you ever what's the saying? You don't need to reinvent the wheel. All you have to do is just put the wheel back on the car if it's broken. So if it's not broken, don't fix it. So just use what you see out there online. Just study other charts. For example, this is actually part of my homework, which is I go through Twitter, I type in a ticker name. So let's go with QS. Was my caps lock on? Okay, it was. Let's go through QS, go through Twitter, and you can do top or latest, whatever, and look for people who have traded this chart today. How did they trade? Where were their entries? Nathan is actually a great person to study the charts. So how did this guy trade today? He got short in the pre-market. Why was he short in the pre-market? Maybe I'll need to pull up the daily chart. But he was short around 14. He got short a little bit on the pop to 14.25. And then right after the open, started piling into the short. This is where I started to get short. So kind of the same idea. But you can see how much more aggressive this person was on the way down. This is a 1 minute chart. Okay, awesome. A little bit of an idea. And then you start reverse engineering these trades, these charts, other people. How did this person trade QS today? They traded the long on QS because they didn't capture the short. Right? So just because you didn't capture the short doesn't mean that the stock is now dead to you. You look for different setups. So this setup, this guy used the SMB setup. He's actually an SMB trader. Shout out to Rick NYC. He's usually in the chat, but probably not anymore because he doesn't like me anymore. But anyways, looking for the long back through. This is a backside scalp. Look for the stock to create a higher low and a higher high, a significant higher low and a significant higher high. Take the breakout of that level and then look for a reversion back into VWAP. And he basically got like what he was risking, maybe 50 cents, and he got a little bit more than 50 cents over here, $1 almost on that position. Come on. He got actually just 50 cents on this, but had he not chickened out on this trade, he would have gotten more than 50 cents on this trade. But the idea is you go through these charts online and really analyze what other people are doing. DLB trading. This is actually my buddy in my pod. So this is my Discord pod member. You can see how he got short. What a pussy. First gets stopped out on the position and then is able to ride it down. Also, he takes a lot more size, so it makes sense why he got chickened out. But that's maybe his fault, right? Maybe he is at fault for taking so much size the way he did and then crying about as the stock goes against him. Also, why is he not short in this area? This is where I called out the short for the Discord. So why is he not short here? Why is he chasing? Why is he chasing with so much size? Why is he chasing with so much size and then getting scared? And then at least what he does for himself is he adds back to the trade and then he really takes advantage of this move. He makes more money than I do. Shout out to him. Makes more money than I do. But how could he have done better? How could I do better by learning from him? These are the questions you're constantly asking by watching other people. Oh, look at this guy. This guy basically did what I did. Got short, took profits a little bit later than I did. I took profits here and then here and here and here. Rest of it is basically my chart. Very well. He also traded Tesla today. How did he trade Tesla? He took the opening range breakdown and just basically let the stock play out. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Just reverse engineer charts. Look at all the information that you can get on the market, disseminate it, study it, and then make it your own. Make it your own setup. See how you vibe with that information that you're learning. Sometimes I look at some charts over here. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? Does it make him money? Yes. Does it make sense to me? No. Will I try to understand it? No. But should you? Yes. Okay? You should try to understand those stars, those setups, and so on. Brad, do you think too much information can be a deterrent to trading? Maybe keep it simple? Always. 100%. A jack of all trades is the worst thing to be as a day trader. You want to be a master of one. Figure out a setup that really resonates with you. Use backtesting tools. Use backtesting tools. What was I saying? Like, damn it, I had to type a message in chat. Where was I? Brad, do you think too much info can be a deterrent to trading? Maybe keep it simple. Yes, it can be a problem. You can't be a jack of all trades, right? You got to be a master of one. What is Bruce Lee saying? I fear the person who's practiced one kick 1,000 times instead of 1,000 kicks one time. So the better you get at one specific setup, the more you learn the nuances of a single setup, the more chances you have to be profitable, and then you can expand on those setups, learn different variations of the setups, and then other setups can be incorporated, and then you can grow your tool book and your knowledge base and so on. But you know, being a jack of all trades is never a good thing, which sadly is where I am, and trying to kind of move away from that, classify my playbook, classify what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, take more size on what I'm good at, and try to do less of shit that I'm not good at, right? For example, FRDs, first red day setups, I was not good at that. And then I said, I need to get good at that because this is one of the biggest setups and setups that I see people make millions and millions and millions of dollars on. So I need to learn this. So I sat down, you know, went through tons of charts, insane amount of charts. You see this link over here, you click on that link, you go through my Notion page and just scan for charts. You can go to all entries over here and just scan for tons of charts, tons of setups. Let me show you. Setup tag, you type in first red day, which you won't see too many because that's a new tag for me. But you could use mean reversion. You could go side short. And now look how many charts you will get opportunities to study and understand exactly how to play these shorts. Look at this, for example, right? NIO. This was back when NIO was going crazy in, what was the date? January 2020, okay? NIO is going crazy. Eventually, it just has its first red day. How to take advantage of that first red day? Look at when this plays out. This plays out at 10:15 a.m. Opening range breakdown. And then you have a monster breakdown for the rest of the day. That's the idea that I was telling you, that, you know, QuantumScape, you don't always get a QuantumScape type of move. Sometimes you might get a move that happens later on in the day. Later on in the day, right? So you can't expect everything to play out like QuantumScape did today. Just a quick idea, because tomorrow we still have a lot of names on the basket to keep an eye out for. Let me quickly walk through the IPO calendar, because the IPO calendar is getting a little hot. 23rd and the 24th, we have some names to keep an eye on, and as we get closer to that day, we'll talk about these stocks. So basically 22nd and the 23rd, we'll talk about these stocks, so keep an eye on the IPO calendar. And for the economic calendar, tomorrow I think is pretty dead for us. You have Fed Chair Powell at 8:30. Hopefully he's not talking at 9:30. You have Bowman at 1 o'clock. Hopefully they're not moving the market too much at 1 o'clock. But pretty dead IPO calendar overall. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all she wrote for tonight's stream. One thing I need to do before I go offline. First, I need to make food. So I'm hungry. I don't need dinner. God damn it, I'm starving. But one thing I need to do before I go offline is record some shorts. How can I record a short today? You know what? Let's do a trade review as... Yes, let's do that. Let's do a trade review. Oh no. As a short. Should I do RCAT or QuantumScape? Let's do RCAT, because RCAT was so nice. You guys see Hunter Biden has an interview with Channel 5? If you know Channel 5, maybe you know what I'm talking about. Well, Hunter Biden has an interview with Channel 5. It's hilarious. Oh my god. Why can't I open this image? Open original? How do I do that? There you go. Huh? You know what? Give me a second, chat. I have an idea. copy image, throw it over here, and then I do open image. Boom. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Okay. Powell speaking tomorrow. He might raise rates. That'll be hilarious because there's a news catalyst today that he might be doing some fraudulent stuff with 120 billion or 2.5 billion dollars going into renovating the building or something. I don't know. That was pretty funny. You know, Trump basically pulling any card he can now to fire Powell. That was hilarious. Okay, I gotta film a short here. You guys are more than welcome to stay, but I'm basically done streaming for the night. Quickly gonna film a short, and then I'm gonna go make some food, edit that short, and then call it a night. So thank you for staying. Hopefully you guys found some levels. Quickly time to do this. Also, there's a nice little outro video that I made. If you guys want to stay for that, that's pretty cool. Watch that little animated outro video. Okay, here's a trade review in 30 seconds. Here's a review of my trade today in 30 seconds that you could pull off next time. Is that how I'm supposed to do it? Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. You or Dieter made it? What do you mean? What are you talking about? The outro? I made it. That it doesn't make me shit anymore. It's not a song. It's a just animated loop. Anyways, okay. My drawings. Oh my god. My computer's dying. Jesus. My computer died there. Why did my screen change and my computer die? That's hilarious. Okay. Well, RCAT was like more day 2, was it not? So maybe I should do QuantumScape? Nah, let's just do RCAT. Everyone talks about the first red day setup, but here's the second red day that I got. Nah, god damn it. Good show, Pratt. See you tomorrow. Later, Prastradamus. Adios, amigos. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for coming. 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 Okay, I think I have my script ready. All right. Here's a quick review of the QuantumScape first red day short setup. This stock has been extended ridiculously, and Friday... All right, try it again. 918. Here's a quick explanation of the QuantumScape first red day short setup. The stock has been running up to the north side, not taking out previous day's lows, has been up more than 4 or 5 ATR in the past 5 days, extended. Look for the stock to get below the previous day low and extended the downside move for us to make that cheddar cheese on the short side. Here's how I pulled it off. I waited for the stock to look weak around the pre-market low area, push into the Friday's low, add on the Friday's low weakness, and then ride it to the south side. Just let the trade play out. First red day today, will tomorrow be the second red day. Come watch me Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Thank you. Alright, hopefully that was good enough for a short. If not, no short being posted tonight. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. As always, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Check out the links in the description below for my affiliate sponsors. And I love you guys for coming. Peace. Time for the outro. I want to see this outro too. Let me play the outro real quick. The outro music's the same, but the video's new. Peace. Who's this? Who's that? TraderPrad. TraderPrad, he's here. For tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here. Back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow, as you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.